Hello and welcome to the Vetter Platform Daily Discussion. You guys are in for a treat today. Today we're going to cover K.S.P, which stands for Knowledge of System Performance. Now, if you missed last Friday's session, you definitely want to check that out because today goes right in alignment with what we talked about last week, which is charting and journaling and keeping track of a volume of launches, VOL, volume of launches. So last Friday, we talked about VOL, volume of launches. Today, we're talking about KSP, knowledge of system performance. And by the time we're done with the call, you'll see how those go hand in hand together on how it can support you in your crypto journey, and especially how best to utilize the Vetter platform. Today, we're also going to go over some projects that I've been looking at and recognizing some trends and patterns because of the documentation I've been doing, and it plays into KSP. And we're also going to look at some projects that are coming up this week, and we're going to look at those together. And the idea is not for this to be like a signal type service and to throw out picks, but rather getting eyes on these projects and creating dialogue and discussion that we can then talk about more in Telegram, talk about more in Discord, and the other avenues that we have. So before we jump into all those amazing things, let me introduce myself. My name is Ryan. I'm so glad to be your host today on the daily discussion. We do these calls 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, same time, same place. Now, if you are brand new to the community, welcome. If you're a veteran in the community, glad to have you here. Okay, this is going to be an interactive call, so be sure to participate. So, if you have a question or comment, go ahead and type it in the chat. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you can join the discussion. Okay, but today the whole focus is how best to utilize the Vetter platform. Okay, now today we're going to go over how best to utilize the best research tool, okay, which is the Vetter platform to help you find your next 2x, 5x, 10x, and beyond. Now, if you're watching this and you don't currently hold Vetter tokens, no worries. Just go to vetter.ai and check out exactly what we have going on here. You'll see why so many people are excited about the platform that we're utilizing, but also the future for the Vetter community. Now, before we jump into the topics that we talked about earlier, again, my name is Ryan. My wife and I, we've been married for 11 years. We have 2 daughters, ages 7 and 5 years old. And I've been thankful to be a part of the Vetter community since early October. So just out of curiosity, go ahead and type in the chat how long you've been a part of the Vetter community. For me personally, the thing I love most about the Vetter community is the crowdsourced intelligence. Okay, CI, crowdsourced intelligence. You may be familiar with artificial intelligence, but what Vetter has done, we've combined artificial intelligence, Vetter.ai, with crowdsourced intelligence. And what I love about that is people from all over the world, different experience levels, different walks of life, coming together to find and pick these great projects and working together to see what we like about it, what we don't like about it, and sharing that information. See, Vetter is a research tool. Vetter platform is a research tool. And a tool, it's also a form of leverage, okay? So leverage is the ability to do more with less, okay? Leverage is the ability to do more with less. So if you were to go out and try to pick up your car, that might be a challenging feat, unless you're like a strong man or something, okay? Or a strong woman, okay? But if you were to get a jack out, stick the jack where it goes and use the tool, all of a sudden your car starts moving up. Why? A jack is a tool, okay? A jack is a form of leverage, okay? Leverage is the ability to do more with less, and where you're able to leverage other people's time and energy and knowledge and experience, it saves you time and it shortens your learning curve. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly what the Vetter platform is all about. Now, before we hop into that, let me go over a couple of announcements. We are actually expanding the live content creation team. And so what that means is if you like presenting, like what you're hearing right now, what I'm doing right now, if you enjoy presenting, if you enjoy teaching, if you enjoy, training, even public speaking, maybe you even hosted a podcast before, I'd love to have a conversation with you. If you believe in the Vetter vision and the ecosystem and you enjoy teaching and supporting others, I'd love to chat. If you have like those super positive vibes and you're energetic and charismatic, like seriously, we get to have a conversation. I invite you to send Phyllis a message on Telegram or Discord, and her username is at PSC100X. Okay, and we'll just start the conversation that way. Just connect with her, and we'll get you plugged in. Next up, one of the things that I wanted to announce, this was floating around in Telegram a few weeks back, but Blockchain Week in Rome. Look at that. For Ruby sponsors, you have CryptoBooks, Binance, and Vetter platform right next to Binance. I mean, how awesome is that to see Vetter community, Vetter platform on this website, but also right next to Binance? Super, super cool. And another announcement, last week, we have our own Reddit set up. So if you're all about the Reddit world, go ahead and check that out, reddit.com/Vetter platform. Okay, you can find that again in Telegram under the pinned post. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about knowledge of system performance, K.S.P. Okay, last week, again, if you missed last week, be sure to check out the replay. I got a lot of feedback on it. People really enjoyed it. And this is a compliment. Now, you're going to get a lot from today's session, but you'll get even more. You know, you'll get like 2x more, maybe 4x more if you watch them together, because they go hand in hand. Okay. So last week we talked about volume of launches. People ask me all the time, Brian, what's the best strategy? I say, well, it's a strategy that works best for you. And how do you know what works best for you? By doing a volume of launches, by documenting the process, by seeing how often price hits your target goals, by seeing how you're interacting with different projects, by seeing how you're interacting in the Telegram groups. Do you FOMO in? Do you ape in? Do you FOMO out? You know, a volume of launches will help you recognize and see trends and patterns with yourself. Okay, with yourself. Now, here's where K.S.P comes into place, knowledge of system performance. So as you're doing your volume of launches, you're going to start seeing what works, and you're going to see what doesn't work. And oftentimes, what doesn't work is more valuable than what works, because here's the reality of the situation. Let's say that we all pick a coin today, a project today, and it 100x's, by the end of the week. We're going to think we're geniuses, okay? We're going to think we're geniuses. You may walk into your boss's office and say, you know what, I don't see myself being here any longer. You know, you may do some crazy things with that 100x, if you went all in on it, okay? Now, does that mean that we're rock stars and geniuses? Not necessarily. As I've said a handful of times, the control we have before we enter that pre-sale, before we get in at the launch, is all the research, all the questions, and connecting with other people. But the moment it goes live, we have zero control over the results. Zero control. So that one grand slam doesn't mean that you're going to hit a grand slam the next time, or the next time, or the next time, or the next time. But after a volume of launches, you may recognize that there's trends and patterns because of your volume of launches, and you will understand knowledge of system performance. You will understand the strategy. And you know that with confidence that based on your style, based on your experience, based on your preferences, that 5 out of 10 are going to do X, Y, Z, that 7 out of 10 are going to do X, Y, Z, that 1 out of 10 is going to do X, Y, Z, but that 1 may be the 100X that makes it all up. See, your knowledge of system performance based on your personal beliefs, your own risk tolerance, your experiences, that one thing, that one project that goes 100x, you don't care about losing 9 times in a row, because you know that 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose, but that 1 is going to go for, swing for the fence, grand slam. Okay, which means after 100, you don't care about 90 losses, because you know that the 10 wins are going to make up for it. That's what K.S.P is. That's what knowledge of system performance is. Okay, so with that, let me pull up my my other screen here. Okay. So I just wanted to pull up a couple projects and share with you some trends that I'm personally seeing on some projects that I've been watching. Now, all the projects that I've launched in the last month, I haven't been watching all those. Okay, these are just projects that I personally have been taking a look at or have had an interest in. Okay. So the blue line is going to be the pre-sale price. And while it doesn't necessarily matter what project it is, but for your own fun, I'll give you the name if you want to look it up yourself. Okay. All these projects are on the Better calendar and you can take a look. This is Treasure Finance. Okay. This launched back in March 16th. So about a month ago. Okay. And so this is the pre-sale price. And one of the things that I noticed right here, within the first handful of minutes, price jumped up to 70% gain in the first couple minutes. Okay, first couple minutes jumped up to 70% gain. That's a 1.7x. Okay, within the first, let's see how long it actually was. Hour and 45 minutes. Within the first 2 hours, price was up to 2.3x. Okay, 2.3x within the first hour. Okay, but within the first few minutes, we had a 70% gain, and then we had a 2.3x. Okay, now this project ended up doing pretty good. I think it ended up doing like a 4 or 5x. We'll go to the daily and take a look here. Okay, project ended up doing almost a 6x. Okay, so a 5.8x. Pretty good project. Okay, but what I want you to remember is those first couple minutes, that first 2 hours, we had a 70% gain and 130% gain. Go ahead and jot those down. 70% gain and 130% gain. Okay, that's Treasure Finance. If you're taking notes, write down Treasure Finance, 70% gain and 130% gain. Next project is Web3. Okay, again, all of these are on the Better platform, on the Better calendar. Okay, here's what Web3 did. Now, Web3 was pretty cool to watch because Web3 ended up raising like 6,600 BNB, I believe, at least 6,000. Okay, 6,000 BNB. It was huge. They launched with a $16 million market cap. Their launch price was $163 per token. Okay, within the first couple hours, 40% gain. 40% gain within the first couple hours, and then price drops. Okay, so price drops after looks like maybe the second and a half day, 2.5 days in, maybe. Let's see. Yep, almost 3 days in, price drops beneath pre-sale price. It eventually turns back around, and it's doing really good right now. Okay, but what I want you to be mindful of and aware of is this. So write down Web3, 40% gain within the first couple hours. Okay, we'll go the daily again. And this ended up doing, right now, I mean, it's still doing really good. We're looking at, we got about 3x. Okay, now this took like a month. Okay, it took a month to hit a 3x. Okay, but then in the first handful of hours, 40% gain. Okay, so Web3, 40% gain. Wall Street Finance. Wall Street Finance, it had a pretty large launch as well. I think they ended up raising like maybe 6,900 BNB. First 5 hours, ended up doing about 50% gain. So write down Wall Street Finance, 50% gain. After the first handful of hours, 2 days and 6 hours, it drops below pre-sale price. Okay, it's not doing horrible, but I mean, there's still life in the project, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's doing great. I'm just saying there's still life in the project. Okay, but the first handful of hours, 50% gain. Stable Grow. Okay, I know you guys have heard me talk about these projects on the daily discussion. Okay, so Stable Grow. This is the pre-sale price. Stable Grow. Now their pre-sale filled up. It was like, I think it was botted. It filled up pretty much instantly. So wasn't able to get on the pre-sale. But within the first couple hours, I think it's a 5-minute chart actually. So this is like the first hour, first 20 minutes. Okay, first 20 minutes, we have a 57% gain. Right, Stable Grow down and a 50% gain. Okay, After the first, I think this is just a handful of hours, it dropped. Okay, after the first 5 hours, it dropped below pre-sale price. Now this project is kind of struggling. I would like to see some happy green candles, but right now I just see some sad red ones. Okay, so I'm not too thrilled about what's going on here. But all we care about right here is these numbers right now. Okay, so stable grow, 50% gain. Everfork filled up instantly as well. Okay, now Everfork, this is on the 1 minute chart. Okay, Everfork's a little bit newer, a little more fresher chart. So I'll use the date range tool to show you where this is at. So this dumped right away. Okay, right at launch, it dumped, and then started to recover, and then we broke back through pre-sale price after about an hour and a half. Okay, and then from the pre-sale price up to there, 41%. Okay, to get there was about 2 hours and 15 minutes into the launch, 41%. So Everfork, right down 41%. Okay, Everfork is still floating around. It's been up above pre-sale price. It's down below currently. It's paying out in their native tokens, also paying out in BUSD rewards, and the rewards are pretty nice. But write this number down. Everfork, 40% gain. And this is a project that launched yesterday. This is Crow Market. We talked about this last week. This was a project, again, all these projects are on the calendar, but this is a project that's a handful of us were looking at and talking about. We like the fact that it seems like they have a vision and they have a plan. They want to be the PooCoin of the Chrono space. Okay, hey, that's great. You know, Gordon Gecko, he scouted this and he wrote in there, you know, some really cool things. And the language that he was using when he was talking about this project on the calendar was, it just reminded me of Vetter. And it just was really cool to see a project that had vision. Okay, so we're on the 15-minute chart here. And so here's the launch. Right at launch, it dropped a little bit and then came back up. So right here, that first little dip, this was a couple hours in. Okay, so 5 hours in right there. And then from here up, so 10 hours in. Okay, within the first day, we got a 54% return. Okay, and again, rewards are being paid on this as well. Okay, so write down Crow Market, 54% return. Let me ask you a question. If your strategy, okay, this is obviously, you get to put your mindset into someone who likes these types of tokens. These are high APY tokens. The only one that has real utility is Crow Market. Everyone else of these is kind of just, hype and, jump on the bandwagon and hope for the best, really, okay? Crow Market has some real utility behind it. They have a vision and a plan. Okay, besides that, they're all similar, high APY. If your strategy is these tokens, based on the numbers that you see, that you wrote down, what are the similarities between all these projects? Based on these projects, what can you almost guarantee yourself if you were to get in these in a pre-sale capacity? And I'll let you guys look at the numbers and think about it before I answer what I see. Okay, profit. Took off within the first 3 hours and dropped. Perfect. Okay. What is, so for example, so we got a profit, took off within the first few hours and dropped. If your money management was a 2x of all the projects I just showed, how many of them had a 2x? Only 2 of them did. So we looked at 6 projects, 2 of them had a 2x. Okay. So what I see in this is, I know consistently, looking at these projects, there's going to be a dump after around 40%. Okay, 40% is the lowest. Okay, the others did, sorry, we're on the wrong time frame for this one. Okay, so 40% and this one's 40%. Okay, before there's a massive dump. 40% was the high. So what I'm saying that is, or what I'm suggesting, from a knowledge of system performance, KSP, if I personally was looking for 2X's and I only got it a couple times, I'm going to ask, okay, what's it going to take to get a 2X in these projects? Well, 2X may not work for these types of projects. Okay, a 2X that doesn't have strong marketing, Web3 has really strong marketing. Okay, so obviously, this one played out well. Crow Market seems to be like a project that has longevity, like a real project with substance and things behind it. These other ones are just kind of bogus. Okay, so KSP would tell me, statistically speaking, I'm more likely to catch a 1.4x consistently, meaning I can get in, get out, and move on to the next project. Okay, so I can get into these projects. I like these high APY projects. I see that once it reaches that 40% range, there's going to be a sell-off, because maybe that's what other people are doing as well. So like, last night when I was seeing this, I suspected that this was what was going to happen. So like last night, right around here, I was on the chart and I saw this right here. And I was like, oh, there's going to be some people selling. And, it wasn't until, a couple hours later, once it went up to, 55%. But based on these things that I've been seeing with all these projects, after you meet the 40% threshold, people are starting to sell off. Okay, so that's what I mean by KSP, knowledge of system performance. If someone wanted to maximize getting a quick flip or a rip FT, you get to recognize that in order to get a rip FT, like almost guaranteed, and you don't have to worry about it and watch the charts and think about it and all those things, you're like, okay, look, if I want to get a 20% profit and cover some taxes and just leave a couple tokens in, if that's what you want to do, you just get to recognize this area is going to be your ideal exit strategy. Once you cross over that 40% gain, based on these 6 projects, all with similarities, all having similar behavior as far as price gains, that's how I would look at this. So as I'm journaling, as I'm taking down my notes, I'm recognizing like, well, I got a 2X 2 times out of 6 projects, but I could have got a 1.4X all 6 times guaranteed and not have to worry about it. Not have to worry about, is Stable Grow going to recover? Are they going to pull out of this? Does the team have what it takes to pull out of it? Okay. Does that make sense? What I'm saying about, looking at the projects, how they do, and documenting how they do. Okay. So last week we were talking about volume of launches, and this is part of that process where you're documenting what, the type of projects you're getting into, the characteristics of these projects, because like there could be some other people who are thinking the same thing. And that's why these things happen. Once one person starts selling, more people start selling. Hey, we got a 1.5x. Let's get out of here. Okay. One of the things someone asked me one time, they had said, any tips for someone who's new to crypto? I was just like, well, don't be greedy and don't be ignorant. Because like the people who are greedy and the people who are ignorant, people who are overly greedy and the people who are ignorant, they're losing money. And like someone could argue and say, well, Ryan, what's the point of getting a 1.5x or 1.4x when I can get a 5x or a 10x? Well, based on what we showed you today, these projects may not have that kind of potential. That's also what you learn from KSP. So to get at 5x or 10x, we may get to look at a different type of project, because these types of projects, the high APY, the hype and the flash, they may not have longevity. They may not be like real legit projects, okay, that are doing really good. Okay, so those are some of the things, and there's also some outliers to that. I think there was one Sphere. I think it was on either Polygon or Solana. Sphere, man, that project, I wasn't on this high APY trend at the time where that one launched, but Sphere, that chart is looking fantastic. I think they're up to like a 30x, which is awesome for these types of projects. And so that's also something to consider. These are all, these 5 were Binance, and this one was Kronos. So like, look at the difference between this one also is a outlier because there's real utility behind it, but that's also something to consider. Different networks may be attracting different kinds of investors. Okay, so it's worth mentioning. These 5 projects were on Binance. This one's on Kronos. Sphere was either on, like I said, Polygon, or it was on Solana. One of the two, I don't remember. But that's something to keep in mind. The ponds in which you're fishing in. Even though Ethereum might be higher gas fees, what type of investors are over there? Are they quality investors that actually believe in the projects and like they don't just hop out after after price launches, or they don't sell at a loss? like what you see in the Binance space, people selling at a loss. That's part of K.S.P. That's learning. That's learning to recognize the types of projects you're getting into, because how projects work on Binance versus how they work on Kronos versus how they work on Ethereum. I mean, yeah, the concepts are the same, but they're different environments. There's different people, there's different groups of people in that space. Does that make sense? Wanda has a question. What site do you use to sell tokens on Kronos or other networks? So I haven't sold my Kronos. I'm looking at this as a long-term. I'm looking at this as a long-term play. They're paying out in their native token, which is Chrome Market. They're also paying out USDC. So personally, I'm looking at this as a long-term play. But they had listed a in Chrome Market in their Telegram. They had listed a website to swap on. So I'll show you what I mean. Chrome Market. Okay, let's see here. They may actually have it right here. It was like Meerkat. Mirror? Is that it on Meerkat? No. Well, here, let me look it up. I have it written down somewhere else real quick here. Just a minute. Okay, yeah. Hey, thanks, Sleepy Guard. Sleepy Guard said I haven't sold Chrome Market either. You can buy, sell on Finance. Kronos network seems very congested today, though. People having trouble buying, selling Crow project. Kronos asking like $4 for gas. Yeah, so that was one of the sites that they listed, Finance, and then there was another one that I hadn't seen before. Let's see if I thought I wrote it down. Let's see. Oh no, I have Finance. There was something else like a Meerkat something. I don't know if you guys saw that. I just don't remember how to spell Meerkat. No. No. Okay. We'll drop that. Okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Meerkat Finance is the same thing. They just have when you say Meerkat, like Finance sounds so official. You know what I mean? It sounds so reputable. Like Finance sounds like something, like a legit swap. Like Meerkat seemed like random and different. Yeah. So in case you guys didn't catch up on that, yeah.
It's Mad Meerkat.
Mad Meerkat. Okay, that's there right. There we go. Mad Meerkat Finance. I was just getting part of it, but yeah, so to that point, Mad Meerkat sounds like a really random site. But then like when I see Finance, I thought that was like an official, like this is legit, like everything's good to go. So yeah, thank you guys for sharing that. Yeah, sounds super legit. So yeah, hey, teamwork makes a dream work. Thank you guys. Okay, perfect. Does anybody have any questions about what we just covered about K.S.P and just documenting the similarities and differences of the projects you're getting into, and with that being part of your volume of launches, just keeping track of that. and seeing how things work out. So for example, if you do 20 volume of launches, 20 launches on Binance, and then you all of a sudden just jump into Polygon, I'm not saying you should or shouldn't. I'm just saying that like you're getting into a different ecosystem, a different environment, and things could be different. And so, it's worth, it's worth, getting some experience on how to use that. For example, a handful of us were talking this weekend about, okay, so where do we buy Crow? Okay, great. We can buy Crow on Coinbase. Okay, we can buy Crow on crypto.com. Okay, great. Well, how do we swap BNB for Crow? And so there were a couple different options, and I ended up finding something on YouTube, and some other people found some other options. And but it's one of those things where you want to be prepared for when you're getting into these different projects, to just be ready and prepared for a different experience than what you may be used to if you have only experienced Binance. Okay. So Carl asked, how do you know when to go longer than 730 days? Are you saying to hold, Carl? Are you asking about how to know if you should hold longer to 730 days? Perfect. So Carl, that's based on your volume of launches. Okay, based on your own strategy, your own beliefs on what your strategy is. So like for me, for a long-term project, I'll just hold it. My plan is for some of these projects I'm in, because I like the team and they're actually doing something. My plan is the rewards to pay back my initial investment. And so the BUSD rewards or the USDC rewards, that's going to pay off my initial investment. And so then I'm in the project for free basically at that point. So I'm not worried about selling. So, I don't know what PooCoin was when it first launched, and I don't know what PancakeSwap was when they first launched, but, think about like Crow Market, for example, and who knows what they're actually going to create. This is all, we look at it and we just, we want to believe they're going to deliver. Just like what we've been really fortunate with the Vetter is we've seen over time, ideas have come out and ideas have been implemented. So, not all teams have the skill sets to actually deliver what they want. So we've been kind of spoiled from that perspective. And so one of the things that is to think about is, if you really like the team and you believe in the project, yeah, just hold it, and that comes down to a different strategy. But you also may recognize after you do a volume of launches, Carl, after you do a volume of launches, you may realize that like, yeah, the project you're picking, they may have done, a 1.5x in the first 24 hours, but they ended up doing all of them, or 90% of them, or 70% of them ended up doing a 2x or 5x after 7 days. Okay. And so that's the thing. Like when you start documenting what the projects are doing at those timeframes, you'll be able to answer your question. You'll be able to be like, well, I usually get out at 24 hours because of whatever your money management is. But after you start seeing that 70% of your projects actually do better after 7 days in the first 24 hours, you may stay in longer. Or you may be someone who's like a really long-term investor and you're like, what, I really like these projects. Like Vetter, for example, building out the Vetter ecosystem, there's a lot of stuff going on here. And so you may say, well, hey, I'm here for life, or I'm here for, I want the 30 days. And, I saw a project today as I was looking through the calendar. I think it had not performed or was not profitable for 24 hours. It was not profitable for 7 days, but it was wildly profitable for 30 days. And, that's something you would also recognize as you document your volume of launches and just keeping track of, how those things are working out. Okay. Aaron shared that he found out that he bought the Chronos that he bought was Ethereum Chronos. Aaron, were you able to swap those, or were you able to get that sorted?
Yeah, I eventually turned it back into BNB and just went that route. So
I got you.
I actually turned it into Ethereum, and then I swapped it on Coinbase for Ethereum, and then I just moved it into my wallet as Ethereum. So anyway,
yeah, it's all like we were talking about. It's all part of this learning experience. Every time we venture out into a new network, there's some, I'm really comfortable with PancakeSwap, but like when I venture out somewhere else, I don't even know what's out there. And so that's just all part of the process. I know when it was time to claim the Crow market tokens, I thought I had enough gas in Kronos, and I didn't. And so like I'm panicked trying to get my tokens out of Pink Cell as I'm trying to get, swap over more Crow tokens. And that's, that's part of the experience. We learn those things and we grow from it. Sleepy Guard said, truth about teams. I was in another project before Better that promised a lot and never really delivered. Yeah, that's one of the things that we're so spoiled with Better is not only is there a vision, but like there's action behind it. There's progress behind it. It's not just words. We're actually creating something and taking these ideas and making it real. There's teams out there who can create something maybe one time, and then they get stuck with, or not stuck with, but they just like, maybe they've never had that kind of lump sum money come in after a project launches or whatever. And they're like, oh, this is great. Life is good. And there's some other projects that are dreamers, but they have no action. Like they don't produce anything. And so, we're super fortunate. I was with a team, about the same time ago, about 9 months ago that, a lot of potential, but, too much ego and nothing really ever got done. And, unfortunately, the group almost became more like a cult than a crypto group. And, it was just one of those things where like, it's really important to have the right people in the right roles to help expand a vision. So Joshua asks, after claiming Crow tokens on Pink Cell, where do those tokens go? So those tokens, they're in your wallet. Okay, you just need to add the token to your wallet. Okay, so let me switch over to Kronos. Oh, this is the wrong one. Let me see here. Here we go. Okay, so Kronos right here. Yeah, so you would import your token. Okay, so on Pink Cell, let's see if I can find it and show you exactly what it looks like. Okay, so on Pink Cell, right here, you click claim, okay, and then you would copy the token address right here, okay, and then you would go to your wallet and you would go down, you would click import tokens, and when you paste that wallet address in there, the token symbol would come up. All this would auto pre-fill, and you just click add custom token. Right now it says token has already been added because I've already added it there. But that's how that happens. So once you claim it, you then just add the token there, and it'll show up in your wallet. Okay, perfect. All right, let's jump into the calendar. I wanted to now I get to switch back over to Smart Chain. There we go. Okay. There were a couple projects that I wanted to bring up. We got about 20 minutes left. And so in today's session, I wanted to go over just briefly a couple projects that we could be on the lookout for over the next couple of days. Okay. And one of the things that I thought could be, kind of helpful, this is not necessarily a vetting, and it's not necessarily a scouting. When I say scouting, I mean like, it's not even like I'm scouting whether these projects are worth scouting, but more so what I look for when I'm looking at projects. And so one of the things that I've noticed, there's a couple scouts that are posting some really consistent projects. And one of those is Gordon Gecko. And so, I would write this name down. Okay, I would write this name down. And I would even do some back testing. Okay, so Gordon Gecko. Okay, so he's the one who scouted and vetted Crow Market. Okay, that's what we saw last week. That's what we got into this week. Some of us got into this week. But I would write down his name, Gordon Gecko. Okay, and I would go to the calendar and I would start looking at projects that he has on the calendar. Okay, and I would jot those down. Doesn't look like he has any for May or June, so it looks like we get to wait a bit. Okay, but you can start looking back at his previous projects and see how they performed. Okay, so I'm telling you what I see in this scout, and now you will get to learn by going back and seeing some of the successful projects he's done. Okay, having said that, he's a scout that I look for whenever he posts a project, because he is very much about quality over quantity. Okay, and so I appreciate that. I can appreciate someone who only wants to talk about certain types of projects, and projects that the majority of the community can take part of, and projects that usually have some either a decent team or some real utility. Okay, so on the positives, he says vetted IDEO Launchpad to develop real use case projects, a safe meme launchpad for safe play that cater to lower market cap investors, fair launch agreements. After NAPT will not take supply from the projects to dump escrow service for the project looking for secure help with project development, NFT launches with fair whitelist process. Revenue from these utilities and from token taxes will support auto staking rewards. Okay, now this one does have a 0.5 BNB min contribution on the pre-sale and a max 8 BNB. Okay, they have a Discord. Okay, now he doesn't necessarily have a lot of information yet. He hasn't vetted it yet, but again, because of who he is, automatically has my attention. Okay, because of who he is, I'm automatically interested. Okay, so the first thing I would do, I would go check out the website. Okay, so here's something that takes a little bit of effort to have this kind of website. Okay, it's not, I mean, it's somewhat fancy. It's not just like a template that we necessarily could, it stands out more so than all the cookie cutter cut and paste templates that some of these other projects offer. Okay, so I like that. When I first come, I like the feel of it. So the website looks decent. Okay, again, nothing necessarily fancy. I wouldn't necessarily, it's 100% coded or designed specifically for them, but there's continuity amongst the branding. I like that. Okay, looks like they have a YouTube influencer who has talked about the project. I think this guy's name is Golorius. I think he did some stuff for Better at the launch. Okay, so first off, I don't really see, so I like the website. I don't really see much about the team or anything about the team. But I do like the site. Okay, so nothing about the team yet. So we'll go over to Telegram. Oh, there's also the white paper. Let's see if there's anything about the team in the white paper. Okay, I like the consistency of there's intentionality behind the website design, and they brought the design over to the white paper. I appreciate that. They also some branding with their logo. Some teams they just have a white paper, like it's white with black text. And I don't know, I mean, I've never been impressed by that, only because I think it's just hard for me to read. I guess I get kind of bored. I guess I'm looking for a feel. Maybe that's a better way to put it. I'm looking for a feeling when I see the website and white paper. And when there's a white paper that's just white background and black text, I feel like it's lacking. But again, I'm looking for information about the team. Okay, so far, I don't see anything about the team. Okay, which is not a deal breaker. Okay. Well, let me do team doc. Okay, so Sam is asking, is this your first, when was this? Sam asked this 10 days ago. Is the team doxed? Okay, it doesn't look like, please join our Discord. Okay, well, it looks like I'll just join the Discord then. Maybe there's more answers over there. Let's see here. Okay. Let me go back to the website. See if I can get in this way. Okay. React to this message. Okay. I reacted. All right. Okay, it looks like they have plenty of AMAs, which is great. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 AMAs, which is pretty nice. About us. Okay, so here's information about the team. Okay, it's operated by a core team of professionals in their respective fields with over 30 years worth of experience in finance, venture capital, business development, digital marketing, and sales. Combining experience in DeFi with a variety of other sectors gives us an edge when bringing a large brand to fruition in a competitive space. We communicate transparently and openly with 24/7 community chat support. Okay, so they're not necessarily doxed. Even at this point, it doesn't sound like, but they're just explaining, what they have. I didn't see something up here about Certec. Let's see. The private round of funding has been filled, and we'll be having our pink cell pre-sale with KYC and audit badges mid-April. We will obtain a Certec audit with expedited onboarding at launch and dessert finance audit prior to launch. Okay. So team has experience. We don't necessarily know who the team is, but they do have some experience. There is going to be a Certec, which is nice. None of these things are necessarily deal breakers, but it is nice to have that. So not doxed. Voice chat. Let's see if we're ever in voice chat. Okay, we got 46 pinned messages, so that's pretty good. I like seeing some messages there. But then I go to the messages. I scroll all the way up to the first pinned message, just to get an idea of how old the Telegram is. Okay, so this was March 15th, and so then I click over, and I scroll up further. Okay, so March 15th. So that means this particular Telegram, at least information up to this point. We don't have access to that, but March 15th. So it's about a month old. Okay, so it's not real old, but it is. It didn't start yesterday, which is good. And also, I wouldn't imagine that it would have started just really short, because the website looks pretty nice. White paper looks nice, and they have a Discord. I don't remember how many members were there. 8,100. That's pretty good. Someone mentioned there's a team channel. Yeah, I think I was just in that. Was I not in the team channel? Did I miss it? Oh, right here. Okay, so we have Imagine Reality, John 001, and Sir Acer from Malaysia. So that's all it says for the team right now. Was there another team channel that you guys had seen, or was that it? Looks like they have some influencers. Okay, perfect. Thank you. I did not see that. I did look over that. Just skimmed right past it. But it looks like they have some influencers coming on board and talk about the project. So there's definitely some people talking about it. But so there are, what did we say? 8,100 members in Discord, and then 3,000 members in Telegram. Okay. Okay, so let's see if anybody's. not too chatty, I guess. I was in here earlier, and like the way the chat was looking, it was kind of confusing to me. It's not showing. Oh, that's why it was confusing. So I guess I'm used to seeing the profile picture of somebody right here, showing that this is who said this. And I guess it's only showing admins or mod profile pictures. So it was kind of hard for me to follow the chat, like what was going on. I mean, we can see like this is what this person said, but I guess the way my mind's programmed to see it like this, or like that. I don't know. Is that confusing to anybody else? The way this chat is lined up, it just looks like it's all one big post from the same person. I mean, I guess that's what this is. The bot's posting that, but I don't see other people. Oh, here we go. Now we see other people. Yeah, I'm having a hard time understanding the way these messages are being structured. I mean, I'm not saying this is like negative or any shenanigans, but I don't understand what's happening. Like this whole thread right here looks like it's just from one person. Okay, I won't focus on that too much. So far, I like what we're seeing. Okay, good. I'm not the only one that's confused by this. Yeah, now I'm curious to see, what happens when I ask a question. Will my profile pictures show up? Okay, so it's hard to tell on communication in the group simply because all the text is running together. But there are messages, but I don't know who it's from. I can't tell if it's from like a bot that's posting this stuff or if they're actual real people. So don't know much about the communication or the Q&A botted. And again, I don't know if this is necessarily a bot, but okay. Okay, so it's like this it's like this bot is posting other people's comments or something. I don't know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm incredibly confused right now on what's happening. So I'll just this is the stuff I'm looking for right here, like the actual people, not this bot saying everything. Yeah, so it looks like this Telegram could be botted. There's a lot of just randomness here. A lot of random comments and stuff. Okay, they're Discord messages. Anybody have any idea why that would be helpful? Because right now it's super confusing. so it seems like these messages are coming from Discord somewhere. So this bot is posting the Discord messages, and I don't know why that would necessarily be helpful unless you're just trying to build conversation in your Telegram group. I don't know. To me, it seems a lot more confusing than helpful. All right, here, this person's saying they're bots, man. Okay, well, this is something I'm definitely going to look further into, and see, is Discord full of bots as well? But are they, are real people actually in here? Are people actually talking? Where's a general chat? Okay, so 23 messages since, the last 9 minutes or so. Okay, well, I'll let all of us individually, check through what we want to look for with the communication. But so far on this project, for me, it's definitely worth looking into for myself. It's posted, like I said, by Gordon Gecko. Okay, It's posted by Gordon Gecko. I like the website. Team is not necessarily doxed. They do claim that they have experience in, what did we say? Marketing, about us right here. They said the team was experienced in finance, venture capital, business development, digital marketing, and sales. Okay. I guess one concern that would come up is, what's their experience level in the crypto space? Do they have good advisors that they're going to be working with? Because like if they don't have that kind of experience, that could kind of be problematic. So that's a question I would definitely have about the team. That's a question I would definitely ask about. I appreciate that it's 30 years of experience in those other fields, but who has the experience in the crypto space, and what partners do you have in the crypto space? Okay. Yeah. So far, again, like I said, I like the beginning part of the project. There's a couple of things that are kind of confusing with the bots and stuff. I don't really like that part, but I'll get to the bottom of it and see what's going on and why. So we're a couple minutes away from wrapping up today's session. We did cover K.S.P, knowledge and performance, and we dove into this project called Eterna. Eterna. Yes. Yes, Joshua, you will have access to the recordings. They're on our YouTube channel, better YouTube channel. And Sleepy Guard. Hey, absolutely. That is something that we're talking about and getting things planned for. And I think that would be a good thing as well. Now, when you say that from your perspective, if you want to hop on off mute real quick, feel free and share exactly what you're thinking, brother. If you're able, so for example, like doing a scouting where we're both talking together, so like you and I, for example, we're both looking at this project together, discussing the things we like and don't like about it. Is that what you mean?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, sorry if there's any background noise or anything. There's kind of a storm here. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant, actually. I mean, just or you could line up if you have like a discussion beforehand. You have two people who have different opinions about it, or just back and forth on a topic. Like maybe different things that people look for on the calendar, that kind of thing.
No, I think that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you for that.
Cool. No worries.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and to his point, if you guys ever have any thoughts or comments or feedback on something you'd like us to cover, or any ideas, feel free to drop them in the comment section, and we will do that. This whole call is designed, to provide as much value as we can, and to support people at whatever levels they are. So if there's something that you would like to learn about or talk about, just like he brought up, we are absolutely open and welcome to those ideas and entertaining those ideas, again, so we can provide the most value. And you never know, one little conversation or one little idea or tip or trick can totally change the whole trajectory. Learning about a new tool or a new resource or a new idea is always helpful. So with that being said, it's at the top of the hour. Hey, I appreciate you guys for being here today and being a part of the call. Remember to keep doing your volume of launches and document your process, so you'll understand and know your K.S.P, which is knowledge assistant performance, and that will help you in the long run about figuring out what works best for you. I'll close out like my mentor always says: life can be short. So for those that you care and love, let them know you care and love them. Hey, I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for being a part of the Better community, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.